Money and wealth are things we don't talk about much in Asian culture. So let's get personal about how Asian Americans feel about money, wealth, and finances. What does Lunar New Year mean to you?
I mean, it means a lot because we get red envelopes with money in them. Was the excitement of getting a red envelope and then the immediate sadness of my parents taking it and just taking it and saying, you shouldn't have this amount of money. We're going to hold it for you. And then never seeing that money ever again.
How has your culture influenced your relationship with money?
Well, in my kitchen, I have a whole drawer of plastic bags because that's what we do in Asian households is we save plastic bags for future use, and that saves money.
Yeah.
And that's just a long way of saying that. Say I try to save as much money. I think about the utilitarian use of the items that I buy, like almost like torturingly so, because I don't know where that comes from. I know it comes from like growing up in a Chinese household, but I think it comes from like our grandparents being, in a war-torn country. There's a scarcity mindset. But I don't think it's just scarcity. I think it's also just like, back in the day, you wanted to get the most use out of the items that you had, just because. And I definitely inherited that from my grandparents and my parents too. I mean, my dad grew up in, why am I laughing? My dad grew up in poverty in the Deep South. And so that's also a thing that he does too, like very mindful of like, is this purchase going to, how's this purchase is going to affect my future? Like, I know that sounds so serious, but like, even when I'm buying a pair of pants or like a shirt, it's like, what is the quality of the shirt? Is this shirt going to last long? Is it going to serve its purpose? That's just how I think.
Yeah.
And I think it comes from, the culture that I was raised in, the Chinese culture that I was raised in.
In what ways has your perception of money changed or evolved from when you were younger to who you are now?
Oh, man, I mean, that's such a good question because like the idea of having like $100 when you're like 10 years old is like, you think of like, what's important to you, like candy or something. You're like, I could buy 1,000 lollipops with this. You know what I mean? Now it's like, you're thinking of real estate and property. And then if you're of that age, you're thinking of like starting a family and having kids. And do you want to buy a house? And I don't put so much importance on it, right? Less so materialistic, more so like investment driven in terms of how can this help me pursue my passion? Well, I think the most important thing that I've learned about money is like understanding to ask for the value that I'm worth. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I think, I don't know what it is, but I think this is just a human thing. I don't want to say it's an Asian thing. I think it's a human thing to sort of kind of be nice and courteous to the point where like you're actually devaluing yourself and not getting the amount of value that in return for the compensation that you should get for what you're giving, And so when it comes to money, I'm no longer sort of scared of it. You know what I mean? In the sense that like, no, I'm worth that amount of money, so you should pay me that amount of money. And then also in terms of really understanding the true value of the dollar and what to spend it on. And I think for me as the son of a Chinese immigrant and the son of a black man who grew up in poverty and worked his way up out of there is this idea of creating generational wealth. You know what I mean? So I want to see all the dollars coming in that are spent going towards something that is going to help me not just get more money, but get more money in the way that I want to get more money. And also understanding that the further that I fuel my passion and work on my passion, which is content creation and acting, I will get better at that and they will give me more money because I'm providing more value. There's an exchange there, right? And still I'm not pursuing the money. I'm pursuing the passion and just asking for an equivalent exchange of monetary value for the talent value that I'm giving. Yeah. I don't know why people are so scared. I mean, I do know because I was, but once you really think about it, it's like, no, money doesn't make you evil. Getting a lot of money, if you're providing a lot of value, is not evil, especially if you're doing it in the way that you want to do it.
For more stories for and by the next generation of the Asian diaspora, visit coldteacollective.com. And thanks to our partners at US Bank for helping us bring these stories to life. Because every generation deserves an opportunity to achieve their dreams.